Um, anything. I don't know. Maybe Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna.
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Let me just share. Lalita Mataji, are you okay, Mataji? Comfortable with Kirtan? We just
Yeah, Prabhu.
follow the tune, Lalita Mataji. So,
Yeah,
sure.
sure, Prabhu. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, that's it. So,
Hey, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All gracious Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna. Jaya Vrindavana. Sri Govinda Gopinata. Madana Mohana.
जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन जय गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavana Sri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohana
जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन जय गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन
Yamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavana
श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धना कलिं कलिंदी जमुना जय जय महावना
Keshighatabansi Bhatta Dwadashakanana Jahasa Balila Koilo Sri Nanda Nandana
केसी गता वांसी भता द्वादश कनाना जह सबलीला कोयिल श्रीनंदा नंदना
Sri Nanda Jashoda Jaya Jaya Gopagana Sri Damadi Jaya Jaya Dhenuvasagana
श्रीनंद जय जसोद जय जय गोपागन श्रीदामाद श्रीदामादि जय जय धेनुवस्तगन
Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abhira Nagari
जय वृषभानु जय कीर्तिदा सुंदरी जय पूर्णमासी जय अभिरा नगरी
Jaya Jaya Gopishvara Vrindavanama Bhaja Jaya Jaya Krishna Saka Bhattu Dvijaraja
जय जय गोपीश्वर वृंदावन मजा जय जय कृष्ण सखा भटध्वजा राजा
Jaya Ramagata Jaya Rohini Nandana Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Vasi Jata Jana
जय राम घाटा जय रोहिणी नंदन जय जय वृंदावन बसी जटा जाना
Jaya Dvijapatni Jaya Nagakanyagana Bhakati Tejahara Pailo Govinda Charana
जय द्विजपत्नी जय नागकन्यगण भक्ति तेजहार पैलो गोविन्द चरण
वीरासमण्डल जय जय राधश्याम जय जय रासलीला सर्वमनोरम
श्रीरसमण्डल जय जय राधाश्यामा जय जय रसलीला सर्वमनोरमा
जय जय ज्वला रसा सर्वरस सारा परकीय भावे जहा प्रजते प्रचार
जय जय ज्वाला रस जय जय ज्वाल रस सर्वरस सार परकिए भावे जह प्रजिते प्रचारा
श्रीजनवपादा पद्मा कोरिया स्मराङ्गणा दीनकृष्णदास को हे नाम संकीर्तना
श्रीजह्नवपादपद्म कुर्यस्मराना दीनकृष्णदासा कोहे नाम सङ्कीर्तना
जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृन्दवाना श्रीगोविन्द गोपीनाथ मदन मोहना
जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृन्दावन श्रीगोविन्द गोपीनाथ मदन मोहना
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
जय राधा गोकुलानंद राधा गोकुलानंद श्री राधे
जय राधा गोकुलानंद श्री राधे
जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान
जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान
जय राधा लंडनेश्वर राधा लंडनेश्वर श्री राधे
जय 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 सॉरी
जय
राधा
राधा लंडनेश्वर श्री राधे
जय राधा लण्डनेश्वर राधा लण्डनेश्वर राधा लण्डनेश्वर राधा लण्डनेश्वर श्रीराधे।
जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा।
जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा।
जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम।
जय कृष्ण बलराम जय श्री कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय श्री कृष्ण बलराम।
जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय।
जय गौरानिताय जय गौरवनिताय जय गौरवनिताय जय गौरनिताय।
जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा शिल प्रभुपदा।
जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय श्रील प्रभुपादा।
जय गुरुदेव
जय
गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय शिल गुरुदेव।
जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय श्रील गुरुदेव।
प्रभुपाद की जय। थैंक यू
Yes,
माता जी, थैंक यू
thank you,
प्रभु।
Mataji, for giving an opportunity to follow you. Thank you. Thank you, all devotees.
Thank you, Bhagavati Sachi Mataji. Very beautifully sung, a very nice kirtan. And thank you, Lalita Mataji. You have tried very well, best Mataji. We would like you to hear you lead the kirtan next time, Mataji. Would you like?
Sure.
So next time, Mataji. So you need to sing this kirtan, Mataji. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan. We are all practicing, Mataji. So next
Okay.
time, we would like you to sing this kirtan on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. But in a very beautiful tune, Mataji, in your own tune, yeah? Like the Bhagavad Mataji sang.
Okay, Prabhuji. If not Wednesday, maybe Thursday I'll try, Prabhuji.
Yes,
If I
Mataji.
may not come online, so
Yes.
I'll try on Thursday.
Okay,
Sure.
so this kirtan, Mataji, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, you would see in kksongs.org, yeah?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, very beautiful. So this kirtan is now recorded. You would find again online in the YouTube. Whatever.
Sure.
So you can just follow the same tune. You will feel so much happiness. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Bhajet. So we come from different backgrounds. So we do not know the words and the tunes. When we fall behind those devotees, the senior devotees, we will also just go like along with the flow.
Yeah, correct. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Okay, we shall move to the next part. We got Radha Sekar Mata joined. Hare Krishna Mataji, Tanvat Pranam Parshit. Thank you for joining.
Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna, everybody pranams.
Tanvat Pranam Mataji. Okay, so ISKCON Mangalachan prayers. Radha Sekar Mataji, would you like to lead? We all will follow Mataji, if it is okay.
ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
We follow.
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं
Mataji, we follow the
स्थापितं
Kanman
येन
Mataji.
भूतले
Yes,
स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदन्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथवितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपिशा गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे
तप्तगन्धर्वचेतकृतधरेश्वरी
वृषभानुसुते
स्तुते देवी प्रणमामि प्रिये प्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्य वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
ओम
विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिने नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
राम हरे राम 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 हरे
हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा
Thank you, Mataji, for a very beautiful Mangala today. We all wanted to follow behind you, but you have gone very nice. Thank you, Mataji. It's all right, Mataji. Very beautiful.
हरे कृष्णा
Okay, can you request Gayatri Mataji to lead Chaitanya Charitamrita place? We all follow behind line by line. Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी शूर प्रभु जी वंदे गुरून् ईश भक्तान्
वंदे
ईशाम् ईशावतारकान्
ईशावतारकान्
तत्प्रकाशांस्ततच्चक्तिः
तत्प्रकाशं शक्तिः
कृष्ण चैतन्य सम्यकम्
कृष्ण चैतन्य संयुक्तम्
वन्दे श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य
वंदे
वन्दे श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य
नित्यानन्दौ सहोदितौ
नित्यानन्दो सहोदितौ
गौडोदये पुष्पवन्तौ
गौरोदये पुष्पवन्तौ
चित्रौ सन्दौ तमोनुदौ
चित्रौ सन्दौ
यदद्वैतं ब्रह्मोपनिषदि तदप्यस्य तनुभा
यद् अद्वैतं ब्रह्मोपनिषदप्यस्य
य आत्मान्तर्यामि पुरुष इति सो असंश विभवः
एकान्तर्यमि पुरुष अशांस विभवः
षडैश्वर्यैः पूर्णो यः इह भगवान् स स्वयम् अयम्
ऐश्वर्यै पूर्णो यः भगवान् स्वयं व्ययम्
न न चैतन्यात् कृष्णात् जगति परतत्त्वं परम् इह
न
न
चैतन्य
चैतन्य कृष्ण जगति
कृष्ण
परतत्त्वं
जगति
परमितम्
परतत्त्वं परमिह
अनर्पितचरीं चिरात् करुणायवतारिणौ कलौ
अनार्पितचरिं चिरात्
यावदेन
कलौ
समर्पयितुम् उन्नतोज्ज्वलरसां स्वभक्तिश्रियम्
समर्पयितुम् उज्ज्वलं रसं स्वाभक्तिश्रियम्
श्रियम्
हरिः पुरतः सुन्दरद्युतिकदम्बसन्दीपितः
हरिः पुरतः सुन्दरदिति कदम्बसन्दितः
सदा हृदयकन्दरे स्फुरतौ वः सचीनन्दनः
सदा
सदा
हृदयकुन्दरे स्फुरतो नन्दनः
सञ्चिनन्दनः
राधाकृष्णप्रणयविकृतिर्ह्लादिनिःशक्तिरस्माद्
राधा कृष्ण
कृष्ण प्रणय विकृतिर्लादिनिशक्तिरस्मात्
तस्मात्
एकात्मानौ अपि भुवि पुरा देहभेदं गतौ तौ
एकात्मनो अपि
पुरा देहभेदं गतौ तौ
देहभेदं गतौ तौ
चैतन्याख्यं प्रकटम् अधुना तद्वयं चैक्यमाप्तम्
चैतन्य
चैतन्याख्यं प्रकटम् अधुना
तद्वैतं
तच्चैक्यम् आप्तम्
राधाभावद्युतिसुवलितं नौमि कृष्णस्वरूपम्
राधा
राधाभवद्युति
सुवलितं नौमि कृष्णस्वरूपम्
श्रीराधाय प्रणयमहिमा कीदृशो वानयैव
श्रीराधाय
आय प्रणय महिमा कीदृशो
प्रणयमहिमाया
स्वाध्यो येनाद्भुतमधुरिमा कीदृशो वा मदीयः
येनाद्भुतमधुरिमा कीदृशो वा मदीयः
सौख्यं चास्य मदनुभवतः कीदृशं वेत्ति लोभात्
सौख्यं चास्य मदनुभवः क्रीडं वेत्ति लोभात्
कीदृशं येति लोभात्
तद्भावाद्यः समजनी सचिगर्भसिन्धौ हरिन्दुः
समज्जनि सचिगर्भसिन्धौ हरिन्दुः
पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णम्
पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं
कृष्णं
भक्तरूपस्वरूपकम्
स्वरूपकं
स्वरूपकम्
भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यम्
भक्तावतारं
भक्तावतारं
भक्त्याख्यं
भक्ताख्यम्
नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्
नमामि
नमामि
भक्तशक्तिकम्
भक्तशक्तिकम्
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानन्द
जय
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 श्री
श्री
चैतन्य जय
चैतन्य जय
नित्यानन्द
नित्यानन्द
जय अद्वैत चन्द्र जय गौरभक्तवृन्द
जय अद्वैत चन्द्र जय गौरभक्तवृन्द
गौरभक्तवृन्द
नमो महावदान्याय
नमो
ओ महावदन्याय
महावदन्याय
कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते
कृष्ण प्रेम
प्रेम प्रदायते
प्रदायते
कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य
कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य
नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः
नाम्ने
गौरात्मिके नमः।
गौरे नमः।
कृष्णवर्णं त्विषा कृष्णं
कृष्णवर्णं त्रिषा कृष्णम्
कृष्णम्
साङ्गोपाङ्गास्त्रपार्षदम्
साङ्गोपाङ्गासपार्षदम्
पार्षदम्
यज्ञैः सङ्कीर्तनप्रायैर्
यज्ञैः
यज्ञैः सङ्कीर्तनप्रायैः
सङ्कीर्तनप्रायैः
यजन्ति हि सुमेधशः
यजन्ते हि सुमेधसः
सुवर्णवर्णो हेमाङ्गो
सुवर्णवर्णो
नो हेमाङ्गो
वराङ्गश्चन्दनाङ्गदी
वराङ्गश्चन्दनाङ्गदी
वराङ्गदी
सन्न्यासकृच्छमशान्तो
सन्न्यासकृत्स्नशान्तो
निष्ठा शान्तिपरायणः
निष्ठा
शान्तिपरायणः
शान्तिपरायणः
मूकं करोति वाचालम्
मूकं
मूकं करोति वाचालम्
वाचालम्
पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिम्
पङ्गुं लङ्घायते
ते गिरिम्
गिरिम्
यत्कृपातम् अहं वन्दे
यत्कृपातम् अहं
वन्दे
वन्दे
परमानन्दमाधवम्
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 श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं
श्रीगुरुन्दीरतारिणम्
श्रीगुरुन्दिरतारिणम्
श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरम्
श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यनीश्वरम्
Very beautiful. Thank you so much.
Sorry
Okay,
for
very
my
good one.
mistakes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Mataji, you did very beautifully, Mataji. Very good. Okay, so with that one, all Mangalas and prayers are done. So we got Radhesheka Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, you got
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everybody. Pranams.
you got laptop Mataji.
I haven't, no, sorry, I'm on my phone. I just got home.
Okay, no worries, Mataji. So now we are in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Just to recap, so this was when Radhesheka Mataji gone to India. It was before that point. So we were
Yeah.
it's again Mataji went and then came back. Still we are discussing uh, qualities of Krishna. Okay, so here in this part, teachings of Lord Chaitanya, 14th chapter. This is the ecstasy of the Lord and his devotees. In a beautiful part, so we have gone through the supreme lover Krishna is in Vrindavana, and his and the supreme beloved is Radharani. Krishna has 64 main qualities, and his devotees takes transcendental pleasure in hearing of them. Okay, so this in hearing of them. So, as explained in the Bhaktiratamrita Sindhu, the characteristics, these are the 64, okay, up to 50 here. And then 50 qualities are fragmentally present in every living entity. And when human being is completely spiritually free and situated in his original condition, all these qualities can be perceived in him in minute quantity. But in Krishna, however, they exist totality. There are 5 other transcendental qualities mentioned below, which can be in Vishnu, Supreme Lord, and partially in Lord Shiva also, but they are not visible in ordinary living entities. So these qualities are again these are the 5 qualities here, and then later on, next 5 more qualities they are only perceived in the there are 5 other which can be seen in the spiritual sky, especially in the Vaikuntha planets, where Narayana predominating deity. These are the 5 more qualities. And then above 60 qualities, Krishna has 4 more qualities. These are, he is able to manifest wonderful pastimes. He is expert in transcendental flute playing. He is surrounded by loving devotees. He possesses unparalleled personal beauty. Okay, this part we have covered in detail by discussing all the qualities of Krishna until last Monday. So from today onwards, we shall continue from here. Okay, so I'll request Radha Sekar Mataji, please take us through first section.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So like Prabhu said, we've spoken about the beauty of Krishna and especially these last 4 qualities of the Lord. You know, the fact that he's expert in playing flute. I know we've done a session on that where we've discussed the different types of flutes he has and who he plays them for. And he's expert, so he's surrounded by loving devotees. So we spoke about the fact that Krishna is never alone. Even if we see a picture of Krishna, normally, you know, if not rather Srimati Radharani is not with, well, you know, she is him also, but at least there's like a cow, mother cow is behind him, or a peacock, or Krishna, we don't associate him alone. And he's, you know, he's always surrounded by loving devotees. And I'm sure that I wasn't here last week, but I'm sure you spoke greatly about his unparalleled personal beauty. So Krishna, I'm sure you spoke about lots of his external features, his lotus eyes, his lotus feet, his lotus navel. I think Gopi Geet has so many beautiful descriptions of Krishna. Rudra Geet, especially when Lord Shiva is describing him. So many, you know, every song is written about the beauty of the Lord. And lots of the time it focuses on his beautiful smile or his lotus eyes or, you know, his sharp-shaped earrings or his lotus feet, his lotus navel, his physical features sometimes. But I don't know if we also spoke about his inner beauty, and if we just tap into that a little bit, that, you know, when Dhruv Maharaj saw him, he's so beautiful that he forgot everything. He forgot why he's getting ready to meet the Lord. So when we have audience of the Lord, then essentially we would probably not be in this world anymore, because he's so beautiful that we would just even the thought of it is something we can't really comprehend. But when we have audience of the Lord, he's so beautiful that everything will, we probably wouldn't be here after that, once we've taken that view of the Lord. And essentially his inner beauty as well. Like, so much is written about his outer beauty. But if we just think that Krishna comes with us, just even, you know, each and every single one of us, and he's with us, and he's able to have this relationship with us. Every single person, every living entity has a special relationship with the Lord. And through that relationship, you know, Krishna over and over and over again, we're able to understand his inner beauty and his love towards us also. So not only is he externally beautiful, but even if we imagine when we're born into this world, we're kind of alone. Yes, we've been born in a family, we may be raised in a family, but essentially we're on our own. Until, you know, even in our mother's wombs, we meet Krishna, we have all these things we say, you know, we haven't quite made it back to the spiritual world. But there's all these promises that we make, and then we come into this material world, forget everything, and we're completely dependent on our caretakers to look after us. And you know, Krishna works through everybody, so he's looking after us all the time, and his love for us is much more than we can ever love him back. He's constantly loving us. So even if we just think about the fact that each and every single one of us, he knows us, we're all different, none of us are alike. He gives us our own personality. Even when he expands first into, into Lord Balram, he gives him his own identity. Even though he's an expansion of him, he gives him his own identity. Srimati Radharani, internal energy. She has her own identity. Every single living entity in this world, Krishna gives that free will. Go, you can have your own personal identity. He gives us so much. And constantly he's loving us and loving us and loving us. And we, through everything that's arranged in our world, to the fact that we have this material world, everything he's done, it's just, and then he comes down as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's literally him inviting us back into the spiritual world. So everything Krishna does, his inner beauty, his love that he also has for his devotees, and not just his intimate devotees, but also he has an intimate relationship with each and every single living entity. So whether that's in the spiritual world, the material world, we're all part of his creation, and he's kind to every single living entity. He makes we've all heard the cobbler story, but he makes the tree grow from a little seed. And this is all his creation. If you just think how beautiful his creation is. The sun, it rises every morning, it gives us heat, life. Water, nourishes us. The mountains shelter us. Whichever way we look at Krishna, he's there, he's provided. We can see him in everything. We just have to have the eyes to see him in everything and in everyone. And he's loving us. And I think a part of his unparalleled personal beauty is that he's this invisible hand. I don't know, I mean, I'm an economics teacher, but this thing such as he's the thread behind everything, and he's keeping us all together. Everything works accordingly, and he's giving us so much joy. And especially when we're in the association of devotees or we're chanting his name, we can fully feel that full-fledged love that he's giving us, and that's coming directly from him. Because as soon as we chant his name, as soon as we connect with him, we can feel his beauty, and his beauty is there for each and every single living entity. No one can ever say they're alone. No one can ever say that they're not loved, because Krishna loves us. And what more could we want? Like a God that loves us. Like, how big is that? Yes, we're his creation, but he actually loves us. He has that ability to love, and he has that ability to make us happy. And we, in turn, have the ability to serve him with our love. And therefore, there is loving reciprocation. And, the purpose of life is that we do this unmotivated, uninterrupted devotion to the Lord, constantly, consistently. And we just go on. I was hearing my Guru Maharaj this morning speak, and he just said, that's just our purpose. It's constantly to think of Krishna, to constantly remember him, and to understand that essentially there is nothing without Krishna. If you think all those other things, they will go. But when we are fully alive, we are fully engaged, we are fully happy, we are fully present when we are thinking about Krishna, or doing any forms of the Navda Bhakti, whatever we're doing, that's the time when everything stops and then something real kicks in. And if once we've experienced it, once we've experimented with it, once we've understood it, we understand that there's nothing that is greater than that. And that relationship, the one that we remember, some people, the dark hole in their stomach, nothing can ever fill it. You can have the most richest person, most success, whatever it is, but that hole cannot be filled. We're still zeros until we add that one, which is Krishna. And then we become a million gazillion, because that's all it is. It's essentially all we need is Krishna. And then everything comes from that. If we love Krishna, then everything else, our relationships with our families are good, with our friends, obviously things happen, but essentially when we love Krishna, we understand that every living entity is part of Krishna, and therefore to show our gratitude to Krishna, we, in whichever way, whether that's, we also love the other living entity, and we see Krishna, we can see his invisible hand and his magic in everything. And so therefore his beauty is unparalleled, not just his physical beauty, but the depth with which he loves us also, and he loves each and every single one of us, because he gives us the opportunity to know him. And through knowing him, we understand everything else. So Krishna has these 64 transcendental qualities, but now we're going to move on to Srimati Radharani's 25 transcendental qualities. So if we're saying Krishna is this most beautiful, attractive, the most beautiful, attractive Lord in ever, kind of thing, what attracts him? And therefore, we are now going to talk about Srimati Radharani, who has these 25 transcendental qualities with which she is Madan Mohini. She can attract the Lord. So we can just imagine the Lord is the most attractive, and he attracts everything and everyone. But Srimati Radharani must be even more, because she's able to attract him. Now, if we just think about that again, like this is Krishna's beauty and obviously her transcendental qualities, but Krishna is like, he's besotted by her, and he doesn't understand her love as we sort of understand in Krishna Leela, and therefore he comes down as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to experience what it is that she feels for him, and with which she controls him, because he is completely controlled by her. So thus, Krishna has 64 transcendental qualities. Srimati Radharani has 25 transcendental qualities, with which she can control even Krishna. Her transcendental qualities are as follows. So 1, she is sweetness personified. 2, she is a fresh young girl. 3, her eyes are always moving. 4, she is always brightly smiling. 5, possesses all auspicious marks on her body. 6, she can agitate Krishna by the aroma of her persona. 7, she is expert in the art of singing. 8, she speaks very nicely and sweetly. 9, she's expert in presenting feminine attractions. 10, she is modest and gentle. 11, she's always very merciful. 12, she is transcendentally cunning. 13, she knows how to dress nicely. 14, she's always shy. 15, she's always respectful. 16, she's always patient. 17, she's very grave. 18, she's enjoyed by Krishna. 19, she's always situated on the highest devotional platform. 20, she is the abode of the abode of the love of the residents of Gokula. 21, she can give shelter to all kinds of devotees. 22, she is always affectionate to her superiors and inferiors. 23, she's always obliged by the dealings of her associates. 24, she is greeted amongst Krishna's girlfriends. 25, she always keeps Krishna under her control. So where Krishna has these 64 qualities, Srimati Radharani has these 25, which are predominant in her, and by which she is able to attract Krishna. So if we think, I mean, obviously we've spoken at length about Srimati Radharani in lots of discussions. So it's very difficult to talk about Srimati Radharani because actually, number one, we don't have the words, we don't have the language, we don't have the capacity, and it's only through her grace that we're given this access to her, whereby we can make some attempt to understand who she is, how she comes from Goloka Vrindavan, how she enters Vrajbhumi, why she enters Vrajbhumi. We can also understand briefly that, even from Srimad Bhagavatam, we can understand that we're not always given access. We're not always given access to her directly. She's only mentioned like once. And she is the supreme shelter. She is the mother of the whole universe. If she expands from Krishna also as his internal energy, so that she is him and he is her, and he experiences her. The whole reason that this expansion happens is because Lord Krishna also wants to have relationships. He also this need for us to have relationships is because he has a need, and therefore we're passing part and parcel of him. We also have this need to have relationships, but it's different when relationships happen in the material world. It's unless we can only love the perfect person, which is him. And when our love is dovetailed towards him, then that's perfect. But when we love here, it's a material, it's a reflection, it's a reflection in the material world. So because Krishna has a propensity to love, therefore all the whole fact, everything runs on relationships here. It's just that it's a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. And she is the mother of the whole universe. So all the Shaktis come from her. If we think, like, starting from all the Lakshmis, all the Gopis, all the like the Ashtasakis, everything is her. Everything is a manifestation of her, especially the feminine. The material and all the feminine material energies also expand from her. So she's the source, but as her bhavas, rather, she's Haladini Shakti. She's that which gives Lord pleasure, and these 25 qualities actually just express the sweetness of her, and all these wonderful qualities she has. She has the ability to make the Lord happy, and she gives him full joy. She's essentially we hear that she's one with Krishna, and then she's also Krishna and her are also separate, because through that the separating of maybe having two forms, they're able to enjoy each other, and they're able to experience relationship within that. So they're one, but they're two. So it's the same. It's like I don't know. An analogy would be like maybe us, our body, and then our heart coming out, the heart coming out of our body, and then having its own kind of personification and personality. And therefore, that is, she is part. She comes from Krishna. And I've asked actually Maharaj this, and she's we say she's Shakti, she's Shakti, but she's also Vishnu Tattva as well. So she's like both, because she's Krishna as well. So they're different, but they're non-different. So when some people say when they see Krishna, they should be able to see Srimati Radharani, and when they see Srimati Radharani, they should be able to see Krishna. And then obviously in this form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, we have this combined form where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come in the mood, and he has all these and the complexion of Srimati Radharani, because he wants to understand her love. And we've spoken, her love is just so deep for Krishna. And I think maybe from next week, maybe not today, but we can go into certain stories of Srimati Radharani, and certain pastimes of her, which depict some of these qualities of her. Like, for example, when she meets Krishna, how she feels separation. And maybe we can just talk about and unpick some of these stories, and understand that, her mood, like when we read about it, sometimes she's fainting. She spends most of, after Krishna, leaves for Dwarka, her state is it's very heightened, and she's in constant remembrance of Krishna. And she only lives for Krishna. And there's one point she says, I only live for Krishna because he said he's going to come back to Vrindavan. And from those kind of moods to when she met him, her pastimes, how, like in Garga Samhita, there's stories about how how she first saw Krishna, how she prayed to Tulsi Maharani, and there's so many different stories about her, which actually demonstrate so many of these wonderful qualities of hers. There are just so many stories. So maybe from next week, we can, what I'll do is we'll pick like certain stories, and we'll go through them. How she appeared when she first met Krishna. Garga Samhita. So the main text maybe I'll look at to describe her are Garga Samhita, and there is a book also written by His Holiness, I think it's Purushottam Swami Maharaj, in Mayapur, and he's written quite lengthily about her as well. So I'll maybe will explore some of those texts. And then there's lots of literature by Gaur Govind Goswami Maharaj, and I'll try and pick at what my Guru Maharaj also says. But talking about Srimati Radharani, it's very it's the highest thing there is, and we need to invoke her blessings. When we glorify her, she is. If we can glorify Krishna, glorifying Srimati Radharani is near enough impossible, because there is probably no words that could really describe her, and she's something that is felt. She's a feeling, and just through her mercy we can a little bit begin to understand her. and her depth and her love, which is constant and it's growing. And she's been serving Krishna in the spiritual world. She cooks different foods for him every day. She never cooks the same. She's eternally cooking for Krishna. She's eternally serving Krishna. She's eternally, all these, when we think about the spiritual, these activities are happening all the time in an eternal way. It's something that, we only through things like service we can understand her. So say, for example, we offer prasadam and then we invoke her blessings. And then she gives us a glimpse of how we also, and she recommends all devotees to Krishna. So when she sees us all doing a little bit of service, or she becomes so pleased and she's so kind. Now, if we think about Srimati Radharani, we have to understand that she gives Krishna, she has Krishna, and she gives Krishna to each and every single one of us. We need her recommendation, and through her, we can serve Krishna. She recommends us. Krishna may not look at us, but if we get the mercy of Srimati Radharani, then Krishna, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, if we have the mercy of Srimati Radharani, then it's easy to get the mercy of Sri Krishna. Because Krishna he loves her so much that if we just take shelter of her, then we can somewhat understand him. And when we worship them as a couple. We worship them together in that mood of Radha and Krishna, as the divine couple. Because Srimati Radharani, I think one of the most, I don't know, the deepest quality that touched me. Now just imagine this. If we have like a spouse or someone we love in this world, like just from a material perspective, imagine sharing that person with somebody. It's very, very difficult. We wouldn't share any person that we love with anybody else. But she's that which shares her love. She shares it with everybody. And if you just think about how deep that is, through her, we access Krishna. And she gives everybody the ability to love Krishna, who is hers, and who she is able to capture. And that's really big, because as a human being, most people, their spouse, they love, they'll never ever share that person with anybody. But Srimati Radharani gives everybody the ability to try and understand who she loves and who loves her. Able to share that love that she has, and Krishna with everybody. It's through her we can understand Krishna on an intimate level, and everything is because of her. There is no there's no other. It's from her that everything comes, and she's, even though she's standing there and she may, you may see tears in her eyes because she thinks Krishna's going to leave her and he's going to go somewhere else. And in so many of the bhakti texts, she's frightened that he's going to leave her, and he's going to go off. But still, even through her pain, her constant pain, she's able to give access to all of us, just by who she is, and therefore Krishna loves her the most. To understand her is difficult, but yet she gives us glimpses of her. We understand her through, in the subtleties. We can read Bhagavad Gita and understand that she's behind everything. We can understand Srimad Bhagavatam. If we understand Krishna, then we can understand that this love that he has for Srimati Radharani. And as is Bhishma Panchak today, Bhishma Dev said that when he saw the Lord chasing him or coming towards him with the chakra, with the Lord in his hand, and he's running towards him like a lion, who he sees this and he immediately thinks that of the Lord as his lover at that moment, or the lover of the gopis. And he says that this is how the lover runs towards the beloved. And with this intensity, and in every single aspect of Srimad Bhagavatam, from how it's spoken, the sweetness, everything, every single verse has Srimati Radharani in it, even though she's not mentioned much. Or we hear there's just her name, Aradhya is there, Aradhana, and she's not mentioned specifically, but every single verse essentially has her in it. Even though it's talking about the Lord, because the Lord has her in his heart. And Sukadev Goswami is Srimati Radharani's parrot in the spiritual world. So everything is actually told through her, from her, and she's included in every single thing as the divine goddess. And there are so many stories, and I think maybe from next week we'll explore some of these qualities that she has through these wonderful stories of hers. And then we can go deeply into these different qualities of hers. So maybe we'll start with she is sweetness personified. There are so many things that she does. She's able, she gives this pleasure, like Krishna gives pleasure to his mother and father. She gives pleasure to her mother and father. She's also has her own family. She has her own sister. She has her own brother. She is part of her own dynasty. And then she has the Ashtasakis, who are her 8 principal friends. And if those of us that are lucky enough to have been to Barsana, even to get like Krishna and Radha become happy quite quickly, but to really go deeper into their pastimes, we really have to focus on Lalita Devi, Vishaka, Jambat Lata Devi, Chitra Lekha Devi, Dunavidya Devi, Indulekha, Ranga Devi, and Sudevi, who are 8 principal friends. And going into each of their stories, like this time when we went to Varsana, we did the Ashtasaki girls, and actually to enter even deeper into the Leelas of Krishna, we have to understand her through her friends and how they played. And like Krishna has his pastime with his Gopa friends, and obviously the main Leelas that we hear about Krishna, especially the ones where he kills the demons, the ones with his mom, his dad, but the pastimes with the gopis is very intimate, it's very personal, and it's kind of separate. It's in a separate area. It's mostly near. But so many of the pastimes took places, and even when we hear about the Ashtasakis, we understand, how they are serving Srimati Radharani and Krishna, and we can understand so many things from them. Whether they're expert in something, whether they're expert in music, whether they're expert in decorating them when they sit on their swing. So when you go to each of their temples, normally outside the temple they have like an arena where Radha and Krishna used to sit. And these places, they're much more remote, and they're not so much, even like the drivers, sometimes it's only when people ask them where are these places and that they can find them. But there are like pastime places where they sat, and all of where the Ashtasakis are from, all of these places, they have like this mandap, So where there's like, obviously sometimes we see in these pictures Radha and Krishna sitting on a swing, and then the Ashtasakis. But when you go to the actual places, it's usually it's not even that huge, but there's like usually a circular, like a big circular mandap, and on that there's this like it's not a chair, but it's like it's like something that's grounded onto this mandap, and it's like a chair, but it's fixed. Where Radha and Krishna just sit, and you'd think it would be huge, but actually it's quite small comparatively to what I thought it would be. And then you've got this circle, this mandap, and then the rases used to happen there, and every single, especially the Ashtasakis, every single one of their girls, their villages, which are in and around Barsana, each of them have one of these, and if we look at Krishna's pastimes and how he performed them, we can see that he went into each and every single one of these with Radha and Krishna, and just decorate it. The different leelas, the different aspects that take place is completely different from the other pastimes of Krishna that we know, like the killing or the subduing of Kaliya, or lifting of Govardhan, or the Damodar Leela. These other pastimes, the more intimate ones, they're very they're in they normally occur in a different place, and they're different. So if we go to Nandgaon, then there's the slides and the places where he used to go with his Gopa friends when he used to go cow herding. There's all those leelas, but then with the Sakis, with the gopis, the pastimes are very, very different, and the mood is very different, and I think that's what we can maybe explore. And there's so many places that we went to this time. There's so many different places in Barsana, in and around. So it's quite easy to see how they all became friends, how many, like what the age difference was, like with like Lalita Devi, she's from Uchagao, and her village is only like literally 20 minutes from Barsana, if that, and she's only like 2 days older than Srimati Radharani. So all of these Sakis, when they came down, who are all manifestations, so some of them are mercy incarnations of Srimati Radharani, some of, they all have their own personality again, they all have their special gifts. So it could be that they do body painting, or they have their own personalities. What do they look like? What do they wear? What are their hidden intentions? What they're like with animals? Again, what colors? What they cook, what kind of gifts they can give us, and worshipping them. And this all builds Srimati Radharani's friends. And each of these Sakis, they also have their own 8 Sakis, and then they have their own 8. So it's like a mandala. It grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. And eventually we, from our lineage, we also become part of that, because because obviously Srila Prabhupada, going back to Rupa Goswami, he's Rupa Manjari in the spiritual world, who's linked to Lalita Devi. So essentially we all link through that process and enter the Leela. So it's really, there's so many different ways to understand Srimati Radharani. There is lots written about her, actually. And maybe from next week, what we can do, like I say, we can look at Garga Samhita. There's some other texts as well, and there's lots of people. There are lots of saints that have written about her, and we can maybe explore her stories, and through them we can explore these different qualities of hers. and especially this book, Srimati Radharani. I think it's written by His Holiness Purushottam Swami Maharaj. He's written quite in detail. And then I can maybe explain some of the things I've learned from my Guru Maharaj. But to understand Srimati Radharani is just to say that she's the kindest. Like, we can all access her, like we can access Krishna. We can all access her, and she's just waiting for us to access her. And she's so happy when we take to the the service of Krishna, or if we do anything for her, she becomes so happy. And she's the most merciful. There is no one more merciful than her. Like, if we think Krishna, he can also kill and he does all these things, but Srimati Radharani, she's so sweet. Like, it's so easy to connect with her. She's available to us all the time. She helps us she gives us that understanding by which to develop our service and our love for Krishna, and we follow in the footsteps of the servant 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 of Srimati Radharani. So we just keep going. Srila Prabhupada was a disciple of Srimati Radharani. He used to worship her. His parents, his father wanted him to be her devotee. And in our line, it's actually her that we worship to attain Krishna. And it's her that, it's her that, she's our focal point. And she has these qualities, and I hope we can continuously look at each of them through her stories, through understanding her feelings. Because again, it's not just the external, it's through her stories that we can understand, and her pastimes, that we can understand her slightly. We can slightly understand her from the perspective of Uddhav, especially in Uddhav Sandesh. She's highly mentioned, and Uddhavji also says he just wants the dust of the lotus feet of the gopis. So essentially, the last point is he doesn't want all those other things. He just wants to stay in Braj, and he wants the dust of the lotus feet of the gopis, because he understands that they love Krishna like no other. And their love is the topmost. And of that, Srimati Radharani's love is the highest for Krishna. So I hope that over the next few weeks that we can really go deeper into Srimati Radharani's pastimes, because again, there's so much to be said of her, how she meets Krishna, and who she is, who her family are. She's also said to have been married to someone else, and that relationship, her relationship with her in-laws, her chastity, her love for Krishna. So through her pastimes and through what we understand about her, and she's in the pages of every single scripture we read. She's in the pages of every single one of those. We just have to have the eyes to see her there in everything. She's there. She experienced the separation from Krishna, and that ultimately manifested in the as Krishna felt that through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and I, through different stories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and through prayers and meditation on him, we can again access the tears of that she felt. Because this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt at the end, is the deepest. And I'm just going to read out something from Antya Leela 17:49 to 52, which says, I cannot forget Krishna. Please tell me how to find him. So that's Antya Leela 17:49 to 52. So while Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lamented, agitation and ecstasy awake in his mind, and he became very restless, many transcendental ecstasies combined in him, including anxiety, lamentation, attention, eagerness, fear, determination, and remembrance. The aggregate of all these ecstasies once awoke a statement by Srimati Radharani in the mind of Bilva Mangala Thakura. In the same ecstatic mood, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu now recited that verse, and on the strength of madness, he described its meaning, which is unknown to people in general. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Alas, what shall I do? To whom shall I speak? Let whatever I have done, in hopes of meeting Krishna, be finished now. Please say something auspicious, but do not speak about Krishna. Alas, Krishna is lying within my heart like Cupid. Therefore, how can I possibly give up talking of him? I cannot forget Krishna, whose smile is sweeter than sweetness itself, and who gives pleasure to my mind and eyes. Alas, my great thirst for Krishna is increasing moment by moment. The anxiety caused by separation from Krishna has made me impatient, and I can think of no way to meet him. All my friends, you are also deranged by lamentation. Who therefore will tell me how to find him? Suddenly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became calm and considered his state of mind. He remembered the words of Pingala, and this aroused an ecstasy that moved him to speak. Thus he explained their meeting. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if I give up hope of meeting Krishna, I shall then be happy. Therefore, let us stop this most inglorious discussion of Krishna. It would be better for us to talk of glorious topics and forget him. While speaking in this way, Srimati Radharani suddenly remembered Krishna. Inward, he appeared within her heart. Greatly astonished, she told her friends, the person I want to forget is lying in my heart. Srimati Radharani's ecstasy also made her think of Krishna as Cupid, and this understanding frightened her. She said, this Cupid, who has conquered the whole world and entered my heart, is my greatest enemy, for he does not allow me to forget him. The greatest eagerness conquered all the other soldiers of ecstasy, and an uncontrollable desire arose in the kingdom of Srimati Radharani's mind. Greatly unhappy, she then chastised her own mind. If I do not think of Krishna, my impoverished mind will die within a moment like a fish out of water. But when I see Krishna's sweetly smiling face, my mind and eyes are so pleased that my desire for him redoubles. Alas, where is Krishna? So pleased that my desire for him redoubles. Alas, where is Krishna, the treasure of my life? Where is the lotus-eyed one? Alas, where is the divine ocean of all transcendental dressed in yellow garments? Alas, where is the hero of the rasa dance? Where shall I go? Where can I find you? Please tell me, I shall go there. Speaking in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began running, but Swarup Damodar Goswami stood up, caught him, and took him on his lap. Then Swarup Damodar brought him back to his place and made him sit down. Suddenly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to external consciousness and said to Swarup Damodar Goswami, my dear Swarupa, please sing some sweet songs. the Lord's ears were satisfied when he heard Swarup Damodar sing songs from the Gita Govinda and those by the poet Vidyapati. Each day and night, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would become deranged in this way and talk like a madman. Even Anantadev, who possesses thousands of mouths, cannot fully describe the ecstatic transformations that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experienced in a single day. And this is Antya Leela 17.54 to 64. And again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is experiencing what Srimati Radharani is feeling, because I think mainly towards the latter part of his life, especially when he was in Puri, he began to experience her more and more, and he began to understand just how much she loves him. So she, this craziness of she wants to forget. She just can't forget him. She wants to forget him. She knows that, but if she forgets him, then she'll die. And she wants to remember him. She's like a fish without water. So just totally going. She's like, but then she's happy again because he's there again in her mind. And all these feelings that she's going through. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could only be pacified when these songs, and therefore, I think maybe from our perspective, when we sing kirtan or when we're chanting, this gives us an opportunity to engage in the same loving mood as the gopis, as Srimati Radharani, and to understand that when we're saying Krishna, we're saying the same verse with, the gopis, Radharani is just Krishna, it's just Krishna, 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 Govinda, Govinda. They're constantly singing his names, and the way that they dealt with the fact that Krishna left Vrindavan, they say that he's never left, was the fact that they would just sing and they would dance like him, they would act like him, they would remember his pastimes, and through that they received some pacification. They were pacified in some way because they couldn't live without him. It was a constant battle for them, in the sense that if they forgot him, that was painful. If they remembered him, that was painful. So the separation, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is experiencing, and the more they talk about Krishna, even though they don't want to talk about Krishna, the more they talk about Krishna, then they're okay again. Then they kind of like, no, we don't want to. Then that upsets them, and then they want to hear more about Krishna. And this constant remembering of Krishna was all that kept them alive, because he was their life. He was that, they'd left by this time. They had left. They were on the margins of society. They were living in their world, but they weren't of it after that. Even Yashoda Maya, she didn't cook after Krishna. It was just, everything was just left, and it was their lamentation that Krishna's going to come. Krishna's going to come, and their deep desire, the deep love for him, in whichever mood it was. The gopis, and there's so many, there's so many songs also where, as Srimati Radharani said at one point, why doesn't at least he go to his parents? I will survive somehow, but go back to your parents. And her pain and her separation, and she's not able to forget him. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experiencing this constant, she's coming through him at that moment. Her mood is coming through. And then obviously we have Jagannath Puri, which we've said loads of times. Like, Jagannath is Krishna, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Radharani's bhav, and when that ecstasy, so when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Radharani's bhav is meeting Lord Jagannath, there's this cocktail of ecstasy, because Krishna is ecstatic and so is Srimati Radharani, and their meeting in the Rath Yatra is an explosion of different bhavs that they feel for each other. So I'm going to stop there, but I think maybe from next week we'll go deeper into some of the pastimes of Srimati Radharani, and explore them with the different qualities of.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Thank you so much, Mataji, for nicely taking us through Vrindavan and the modes of Radharani and Krishna. Okay, very nice. Should we open the floor for questions, Mataji?
Yeah.
Okay, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Any questions to Gayatri Mataji? Any questions to Radha Sevaka Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Radha Sevika Mataji. Such beautiful. You explained so beautifully, Mataji. I was just thinking of Vrindavan. It was so beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. And I was just wondering, when we are seeing Radharani's qualities, it is said that she is transcendently cunning. What does that mean, Mataji? Like when we are saying transcendently cunning?
Yeah, like she's cunning. Like if you hear, like when she talks, like she will, again, I think when we go into her pastimes, there'll be times when like she's not cunning, but she can bring Krishna to her quite well. Like say for example, one incident that just comes, like she can bring Krishna to her. I think that there's pastimes, there's quite a few pastimes where she's able to there's one pastime, I can't remember where I've read it, but basically she thought Krishna was with somewhere else, and then she'll say like all these horrible things about Krishna, like quite sharply horrible things, and then when other, like say anyone else complains about Krishna, then she becomes sad. And I don't think this is, I don't think this really means that she's cunning, but then she'll say no, if anything gives Krishna pleasure, then then she's happy. So on one hand, she'll like say all these horrible things about Krishna, she'll call him so many names, but then if anyone else complains about Krishna, then she's like no, then she's like no, then she's like whatever makes Krishna happy. So on one hand, yeah, like she'll say horrible things about Krishna, like quite horrible things about Krishna, but it's through her love, and she's able to control him through her love. But I think, yeah, maybe that's the only time. Like I know she uses very sharp words against him. Like I've read some in places, and Krishna's just like besotted by her. Like sometimes when you read the pastimes, because like obviously we hear it from that side, like okay, Krishna, he did the rasa dance, he did all these things, then he left the gopis, and to increase their love for him, etc. And in sometimes I've also heard things like Krishna didn't return back to Vrindavan because he knew that that if he had returned, because there were so many people, like there was Jarasa and so many people that wanted to attack, he would have put them at risk as well. So he just left them because they were from the villages. Therefore, he didn't like go back as such. But then yeah. So we always hear it from that angle that Krishna left them. They were like the damsels in distress. But there's also the other side where like Krishna's completely besotted by her. Like there's past times when like, he dresses up as a female to go into her house. And again, there's there's so many different pastimes of how they connect with each other. And she's cunning. The other thing, yeah, she's cunning in the way, like, I don't know if you've been to her mother-in-law's place, Jadila Kudila's place it's quite near Ravel. And then she's in this room, and then she goes to meet Krishna. So outside she could see the Yamuna, and then if you look outside her room, even now it's there. It's just very small. It's just it's a very small room with, I think, maybe a little window. And then she's cunning in the way that she'll just go and meet Krishna from her house. This is like a little house, and this little room, and she, the whole pastimes happen when she either somehow manages to escape her in-law and her sister-in-law from this room. It's like it's there, like still there. And then all her pastimes happen. So she's a little bit cunning in that way. So she goes to meet Krishna, like, she goes to meet him. He comes to meet her. There's so many different pastimes, like little things like that. So yeah, I don't know if that explains that she's cunning. But there's other pastimes, mainly when she's saying horrible things about Krishna in a kind of like in a fun way. Like obviously we've heard in Uddhav Sandesh and stuff where that she's talking to the bumblebee and she's calling him names, but that's quite sweet still. But there's other ways, like she'll call him wicked and all sorts of things. So yeah, it's her personality. She's of the personality. I think we'll explore them through the stories. I think that's probably the best way to go about it.
Yes, Mataji. And Prabhuji is trying to show us some video here. It's cute when Krishna, Radha Krishna are little kids, and how Radharani is trying to cheat him or do some funny things. So thank you,
Yeah.
Mataji. Thank you for explanation. And yes, it's beautiful.
She's a leader, isn't she? She's in charge. Like she's
The facial expression.
say other like in if you think about her as like say her this is her like her personality. It's different from that submissive, when we see the wife form like Lakshmi Devi or Sita Devi or the different, her personality is quite independent. It's fierce. It's fun. It's sweet. It's got like she's very
Mataji, we are 35, 37 past Mataji.
yeah. It's so easy to talk about Shri.
Maybe we can take this different pastimes, Mataji. We can
Yeah.
just by presenting some kind of the text, a scripture putting in front of us and then taking us through and different pictures. It would be very nice, Mataji. So we would like to hear you when you speak. It is so sweet. But, so here you are feeling it. We are just thinking of how you are feeling, but we wanted to really share as well more into deep.
I think
Okay,
we have spoken in past times. Yeah.
thank you, Mataji. Got it. Other devotees as well. Jai Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhuji and Mataji. Mataji, you described so beautifully. I really enjoyed this session. I was actually just about to leave because I was feeling a bit sleepy today. I got up very early. But just one thing I just wanted to say is that I remember that Radhaji, as you said, we don't know much about Radhaji. We don't know, we can't even describe her too well. She's not even written down in our main scriptures anyway, but I know it's written in elsewhere. But all I know is that even Sukdev Goswami, he wouldn't even say anything to Parikshit Maharaj, because otherwise he would just go in a trance, because just thinking about Radharani, and he knew that Parikshit Maharaj didn't have that much time, so he couldn't, so he wouldn't even go there. But that is how much the power of Radharani there is, where, you know, Sukdevji couldn't even describe her that much. So yeah, it would be so lovely to hear the pastimes that you are talking about, because I, for one, I don't know anything much about Radharani. So I would be looking forward to it. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Any other questions or sharings, dear devotees, you wanted to add? So, and also Mataji mentioning about Garga Samhita. So I'm just going to attach this one here, the chart, Zoom chart, where in this one, it is what I'm sharing at the moment now. So here it is describing whenever Radharani is the same Krishna and Radharani, all entourage is coming down. So Narada and these are conversations that are happening. So there Radharani says, if you go to the, I cannot live in this just alone here in Golok Vrindavan. She says, I will go with you. Then Supreme Personality God, Krishna says, I will go with you, Radha. Don't lament. I will remove the earth's burden and I will keep your word. After saying that, Radha says, my heart cannot be happy where there is no Vrindavan forest, no Yamuna river, and no Golden hill. Then Lord Krishna sent to the earth Golden hill, the Yamuna river, and 47 krosha portion of his abode. This is one krosha is equal to 2 miles. This is 84 square miles. This Rajamandala, as Mataji is mentioning. So this Rajamandala, this map, this is 84 kroshas, or 84 square miles. Okay, this Rajamandala is sent to that link also. And here this further details have been mentioned. So being bowing and bowing again and again with the demigod Brahma addressed the original Supreme Personality of God, Shri Krishna. So these are the conversations in the Garga Samhita, and also similarly in the Brahma Vayutta Mahapurana, and also more details are there. Okay, the few things. So Rajamandala, this is another map of the Rajamandala where Mataji is mentioning about the Varsana here. And here it is the Radha Kunda, and then here is Bunchagaon, where Mataji has gone to this place. There is a Nandagaon here, and Java, just so many other names. I think it is new to for every one of us. But when we are going there, then we would see and understand, taking this map and going to each and every place, covering, and then hearing the fastings from the devotees, that would be more reachable. Okay, so just giving a glimpse of it. Thank you so much, Mataji. So here we shall go again the next Monday. More details about Radharani. This is a teaching of Lord Chaitanya, and how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going through different ecstasies in his Anjalila pastimes. Okay, so for now we shall conclude due to the time. Shall conclude. So can I request Gauringi Mataji to lead Narasimha praise? We all follow behind you, if it is okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes. Shall we do 3 Loud Hari Bol for Mataji.
Yes, please.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Sarika Mataji.
Shall I start, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please start. We all follow behind you.
Okay. Ugram Viram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narsingam Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityum Namameham Sri Narsimha Jai Jai Narsimha Praladadisa Jai Padma Mukha Padma Vringa Namaste Narasimhaya
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Praladadayine
Praladadayine
Hiranyakashipurvachahai
Hiranyakashipurvachaham
Tilatangka nakhalai Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha
Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha
Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha
Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha
Yato Yami Tato Narsimha
Yato Yami Tato Narsimha
Bahir Nisimha Hridaye Nisimha
Bahe Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha
Bahir Nisimha Hridaye Nisimha
Bahe Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha
Narsingamadim Saranam Prapade
Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapadye
Narasingamadim Saranam Prapade
Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapadye
Tabakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Singam Dalita Hiranyakashipur Tanubringam Kesavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare
Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam Shipu Tanubringam Keshavadripa Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Kesavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare
Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Hare Jai Jagadish Hare
Jaya Narasimhadev, Jaya Narasimhadev, Narasimhadev, Jaya Narasimhadev.
Jaya Narasimhadev, Jaya Narasimhadev, Jaya Narasimhadev, Jaya Narasimhadev.
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj.
Jaya
Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya
Jaya
Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya
Jaya
Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
श्री नृसिंहदेव भगवान की,
Jai,
प्रहलाद महाराज की,
Jai,
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की,
Jai,
जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की,
Jai,
ब्रज धाम की,
Jai,
आज की आनंद की,
Jai,
निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे।
Hari
बोल। हरे कृष्णा।
Krishna.
थैंक यू प्रभु जी, थैंक यू माता जी। हरे कृष्णा।
So beautiful, Mataji.
Patarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Patitanam
If you're happy, we shall conclude our session and see you tomorrow morning for Japas at 5:30 a.m.
वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
Ananta
Koti Vaishnava ki
जय
Prabhupada.
जय।
Jai. Hare Krishna.
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण।
Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।